Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching me from. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscription button down below. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always watching my videos. Thank you for always stopping by, coming to watch my video. And for those who have helped me to share my video, thank you. I really appreciate you so much. I do not take your efforts for granted. Thank you so much. It was a video I made some times back. I'm talking about relocation from Nigeria, and a lot of people have come to ask me questions in my inbox, asking different things. And so I decided that today I'm also going to address some things I think you should, when planning to relocate or when looking into relocation, some things that you also need to research about, know about before going to a particular country or wherever it is that you desire to go to. At least just know these things and find out about them before deciding or making your conclusion as to where you would like to settle down, because a lot of factors affect relocation. And relocation is like rearranging your life. It's like starting all over sometimes. But when you look at it, especially when you look at it comparing some countries that the government are not responsible and all that, you want to give a better life to yourself and also to your kid. And so that's why a lot of people consider to relocate to have the better life and to give options to their kids. Initially it may be difficult settling in and all that, but in the long run it will usually worth it. You'll be happy, you'll be glad that you took the decision. So I'll be addressing some things that talking about some factors that you should know about before going to a particular country to settle down. But please don't forget, as I've said, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscription button below, and it is free. You're not being charged. Subscription is free. The first thing I want to talk about is job opportunity. So when you're planning to relocate, when you want to relocate your family as a family or as an individual, as a career person, you want to get the type of job you desire. Will it be easy? So if you need to speak up to people, look for people around or people that have been in that same country where you desire to go to, that talk to them, ask them questions. Means of livelihood is very, very crucial, especially when you relocate. So if you're able to get job on time, the better for you, the better you'll be able to settle in easily. So it is good that you find out about how possible or visible it is, or what certification that you think you can do in order to be able to boost your chances, to increase your chances of getting a job, a good job. So there are a lot of places you can get information from on online, from people as well. Don't shy away from talking to people. It is good that you talk to people, especially people that have been in that country that you're going to. Talk to them and ask questions. Any questions that you don't have answers to, ask them. It will help you and it will go a long way. So job opportunities, you want to research how easy it is to be able to get a job, your desired job, where you're going into. And sometimes we may need to even compromise as to be able to make ends meet initially, but as you begin to settle down, it will be easy for you to switch to that desired job that you want. To be easy for you to get that desired job that you want. So you can begin to also to search about the job types, that are available or that are easy to get in that place you're going to see how easy it is to get a job in your area of specialty or career, or if sometimes you need to change career or you need to upgrade or whatever it is you need to do to be able to to secure a means of livelihood as early as possible. That place that you desire to go to, there may not be, or it may not be easy to get the job that you want. Maybe you would have to to decide to move to another state in that country that you're relocating to. So another thing is talking about cost of living and bills and all that. So you also want to find out and ask and know how the cost of living is, the house rent, how much is it to rent an apartment, and don't be surprised that for example in Nigeria, maybe for like a two bedroom flat in Lagos, Nigeria, in some parts of Lagos, maybe if you pay like 700,000 or 900,000 or 600,000 in some part of Lagos for a two bedroom bedroom flat. When you move abroad, it's a different story entirely. You know that amount that you pay, you know, per annum in Lagos, maybe to get a 2-bedroom flat in Lagos, it could be that, it could be equivalent to how much that you pay monthly when you move abroad. So these are one, you know, of the realities. When you move abroad, you pay a lot on rent. So you should find out, you know, the cost of living in that place you're moving to. Is it easy to get a job? Is it easy to get an apartment, to rent an apartment? Is it easy to buy a house and all that? Also about the bills, the cost of electricity, the cost of water bills, internet. So you can make all this research and know before deciding to settle for a particular country. So check on different websites. Don't let, you know, these things meet you unaware. At least have a bit of knowledge about where you're going to. Bills when you move abroad is different from, you know, for example, in my home country, Nigeria, is different. The bills is totally different. In fact, you don't even want to convert. You know, when you move, it's a different ball game entirely, because you're earning and you'll be spending in foreign currency. So it's better you ask and you know what the bills is like where you are moving to. The cost of living really could really get high in Western world, but when you are able to get a good job, trusting God that you get a good job, you can definitely get a good job and still be able, you know, to pay your bills and live a good life. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that know the cost of living of where you are going to, you know, before deciding, you know, if to settle there, or you want to go to, you know, another state that will be easier or better for you. So all this research and all that, it helps to make your relocation journey, you know, it makes it simple for you. Another thing I also want to talk about is taxes. So when you move abroad, you know, you begin to pay tax. If you've not been paying tax in your home country, for example, in Nigeria, you know, people don't really pay tax in Nigeria, but it's even unfortunate that those that pay tax, you know, they don't even enjoy, you know, there's no benefit for the tax you're paying for. But you know, when you move abroad, you pay tax. Even no matter how high the tax is, you see what you're paying the tax for, you enjoy what you're paying tax. You're not just paying tax, and some set of people are embezzling your tax, and you're not able to, you know, get the basic things of life. But moving abroad is different. Get it straight that you will pay tax. You can't escape it. And the higher you earn, the higher your tax. So you also want to know what's the tax rate, you know, as per where you want to move to. Now, it is not to scare you. The higher you earn, the higher your tax. So, and also you to also buy property, you pay tax on properties. I mean, when you buy house, you know, in Western world, you also pay taxes. You pay tax on the properties that you acquire. You want to know what the rate of the tax is like. At least just have a fair knowledge. Although in the Western world, these things, you know, are similar. All this, the tax rate, the bills, the house rent, they are almost similar, but there are still little differences, you know, between each country. So you want to know which one, you know, will be better for you. And so another thing is also about healthcare insurance. So unlike, you know, in Nigeria, it is not really common for people to have health insurances, but you know, when you move to, except some, you know, some international companies or big companies that offer, you know, their employees health benefit, and also, you know, their immediate family also benefits from it. So when you move abroad, you know, health insurance sometimes is different. It could be that maybe the company that you are employed to can, you know, give you health benefit, health insurance. You have health insurance that covers you, may not cover your family, and some it may cover your family. So it depends. You want to also, you know these variations. Some, for example, the ones that maybe it only covers the person that is, you know, directly employed to that particular company. Maybe the wife would have to, okay, like in some countries, from 0 to 5 years, health insurance is free for kids. As an adult, you may have to pay for your own when seeing your GP, you may have to pay, you know, for your consultation, while the drugs would be free for you. And so if you are lucky that your employee, you have health insurance as an employee, then good for you. And sometimes that health insurance may not cover your family, may just cover only you, and maybe your kids may be free from your kid if they are under, you know, 0 to 5 years. Maybe, but for your wife, maybe your wife would have to pay for, you know, the consultation, and the drug may be free. You may not have to pay for drugs and all that. After, you know, you may not have to pay for drugs. So you also need to, you know about this thing and find out what the health insurance is, you know, as per the country where you want to go to. So ask, seek for information, know how, the health insurance, what their own health insurance is all about. So each country, differs, it varies. You want to put all these things into consideration, consider all these things too before you want to make your conclusion as to which particular part of the world you're going into, because health insurance, it's also important. It's part of so you will need to find out about what the country you're going to, the type of health insurance that are available, the type of health packages that are available in the country you're going to. So another thing you also want to think about, especially because of your kids, is the quality of education in the country you're desiring to relocate to. So you want to find out about how quality their education is and how their educational system is. So in each country, for example, in Nigeria, a child can start school as early as 6 months as you desire, but in the Western world is different. It is almost like, for example, in the country where I am, a child cannot start school until they are 3 years old. And even when they are 3 years old, not like they start school fully from Monday to Friday. They are being allocated to I think about, they are entitled to like 20 hours a week, and that is like 3 times a week. The 20 hours is divided into 3, so I think on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you have 3 days to take them to school, and not the whole day. So if, let's say, like a working parent, maybe like the husband, the wife is working, then you definitely have to pay for a childminder. And the reality of abroad is childminding is is expensive. To get to pay for a childminder, it is expensive. So sometimes people want to bring their relatives from their home country to stay with their child. It is cost is effective as paying monthly for a childminder. So you also want to think about all these things. And in some parts of the world, it's like it's a child starts until 4 years, until 5 years or so. You want to know all those differences before, and know what will suit your own family most, before deciding to relocate to a particular place. So consider the code, find out about the quality of education in that country that you want to go to, and what it takes, and what year the child will be entitled to start schooling. And also most Western world, in European countries especially, education, there are free education, like the state or government schools, and the standard of education in this part of the world is fairly good. But if you still desire that your child goes to a private school, then you have to pay for it, and sometimes it could be expensive. So you also want to know all these things, find out about the how it is in the country that you are planning to relocate to, what year the child will start, and if both parents, or if one of you is going to stay for a while and the other person is going to be working, in order to be able to cut the cost of childminding, or if both of you are going to be working, what's the best option for you if you'll be paying for a childminder. So it is not like our home country in Nigeria that someone that you can, it's cheaper, it's easier. But over here, all those things you need to put into consideration, because that's the reality abroad here. You have to plan around what work and suits well for your family. So put all these things, look into all these things, put them into consideration when deciding to relocate. The last thing I also want to talk about is traveling costs. Relocation could be expensive. It could be capital intensive, but as I've said earlier at the start of my video, that it's worth it, especially for the future of the kids, giving your child better options. So you want to consider the cost, how much it will take you to relocate, if you have a large family or if you have a small family, and also depending on the country you're going to, depending on the type of visa you'll be coming in through. So you want to also consider all these things. And also sometimes you will also need to write exam, maybe like IELTS exam, or any type of exam that you need to write. About 2 years ago, about 2 years ago when we relocated, I think we paid I can't remember exactly, maybe for myself and my husband, because we both wrote the IELTS exam. I think we paid almost 200,000, I think about over 90,000 each for the IELTS exam. So I don't know how much it is currently. So you also want to consider all this, and you may not need to write the exam, but I think most times you would have to write exam if you will have to relocate. And for those that are going to study, so for the IELTS, let me say you have the one that is for immigration and you have the one that is for academic purpose. So there is difference between the two. So if, for example, you're going to study abroad, it is, if you'll be writing IELTS, you're not writing the one that is for immigration. You're not writing the immigration own. You'll be writing the one that the academic IELTS exam. So you need to know how much, factor all these things into your plan. And also sometimes you have to do some medical tests, like tuberculosis test, whatever test that is that you need to do in as considering the country you'll be relocating to. For us, I think we did tuberculosis test. I can tell you that these tests are not free, and so, but as I've said, it's worthwhile in the end. Another thing that also gobs money when also planning relocation is money for visa. So it depends on the type, as I've said, it depends on the type of visa you are applying for, so the price also varies. So if it's a work visa, if it's a study visa, if it's a business visa, if it's a PR, whatever type of visa that you'll be, whatever route you'll be going through, we also determine the type of visa you'll be applying for. And it is not also cheap. Sometimes to apply for visa, it is not cheap. You also want to know how much it will cost your family. If you have a small family or a large family, you want to, know how much each visa will cost for every member of your family, and factor all these things into your relocation plan. Flight cost is another thing. You also want to consider how much it will take, how much your flight cost will be, and per child. So if I'm not too sure if you have a small child, like is still under a year old, if they're going to pay, or if there's a particular, definitely I think they will pay, but I think it may not be up to the amounts that an adult will pay. So considering the flight tickets, we have direct flights and flights that are stopover. So direct flights are flights that are going straight to where you're going to, while the stopover are flights that are going to be stopping in different countries before eventually getting to where you are going to. So most of the time the stopover flights are cheaper, but it is more longer, and it is sometimes stressful. But if you don't it is not compulsory that you take the direct flight. You can do the stopover flight in order to to cut cost for you, especially if you have a large family, because direct flight you're going to pay more, but it is less stressful because you don't have to stop anywhere. It is a direct flight going straight to the country that you're going to. But unlike the other one, it stops at different countries. Know all these things, know how much all these things will cost you, and factor it in. Put all these things into your relocation plan before deciding, and it will make the relocation process simple and easier for you. So thank you guys. I'll stop here. If you have enjoyed this video, please, and you've also learned from this video, please help me to share this video. Let it reach as many people as possible.